Everybody, Dave here, hitting off grid, and welcome to another video. In this video, I want to talk about the top 3 fears that I have for through hiking the Appalachian Trail. So next year, I plan on hiking the Appalachian Trail in 2022, starting in roughly around June 1st, going southbound, so starting in Maine and going to Georgia. So right now, I plan on that hike taking about 4 to 5 months. I don't think I'm going to be at that 6-month average or whatever that 6 month. I think they say it's the average, but I'm a little better shape, and I think I'm a little bit more experienced than I would say most people. So I think I can do it in 4 to 5 months. Most likely, probably just say 5 months. We'll see if my body holds up. But so these top 3 things, there could be some other ones too, but these are the top 3 things that I came up with. And they're not in any particular order. To me, they're all equally just as bad. So I wouldn't say number 1 is any worse than number 3. So I would just say, in general, they're all number 1. So the first thing is sprained ankles. Now, I'm sure that probably didn't even dawn on you. You don't really care. But I can tell you this, I played a lot of basketball growing up, ever since about, I don't know, maybe 6th grade or so, all the way into my late 20s, really. I've sprained my ankle several dozen times, my left ankle specifically, and I sprained it bad 2 times really bad. 1 time so bad that I was in the military at the time, and it was during gym time before the day started. And you know, the military is kind of like a suck it up type of mentality. So I just put my boot on, sat out in the car, and literally freaking, you know, virtual cried or whatever. It was so much pain. Like, I've never heard my ankle crack like that ever in my life, and that was the worst crack I've ever heard. And I went and got an x-ray, and they said, you know, that's fine, blah, 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 you know, give you some major, you know, naproxen or whatever they give you, some major, I don't know, it's kind of like Advil or something like that, but, or ibuprofen, but it's, you know, times 10, it's probably enough to take an ox down or something. But so that time, when I got home that day, I could not get my military boot off for the life of me. My ankle had sprained up so much that I could not get off my boot, and you know, ended up taking me over a year to be able to run on my ankle. There was quite a while there where I couldn't even walk on it. Had to use, I don't think I used crutches back then, although I sprained it later on, which we'll get to. And so anyways, it took me literally about a year to recover from that, where I could actually run on it without any pain at all. And then I did it again about a year later in the Air Force at gym time, playing basketball again, and almost the same type of move, kind of like a left plant, where I was driving to the left and then kind of turned to the right to plant, and then just rolled over the ankle. And that time I went to the doctor again, and right after, and they, you know, did x-ray and said, no, there's nothing broken, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, they sent me home, and, you know, I was driving my Porsche at the time, when I actually had a Porsche, you know, 6-speed. And I'm like, how am I going to drive this thing home? You know, that's my clutch foot. So I literally started it with my right foot on the clutch, and then kind of just let out the clutch really slow, and kind of used the other foot at the time just to give it a little bit of gas, but kind of just inched it back. Luckily, it was not on a hill or anything like that, and was able to get it home. I mean, once you get it going and you're kind of low RPM, and as long as you match the RPMs, you can shift without the clutch, and that's just what I did. And so that time I got a little bit smarter. I took ibuprofen right away, probably for like the, you know, I don't know, maybe 8 hours or 12 hours straight or something like that. Got a pair of crutches as well. And the ibuprofen really helps. I was able to walk the next day, and it was a pretty bad one. So that's, you know, a testament to ibuprofen. It's not something I like to take all the time. And honestly, I really don't want to take it on the Appalachian Trail at all. I will if I need to. But, you know, general pain or something like that, what I talked about in previous videos, whatever, I'm just going to let the body ride on that unless I'm absolutely locked up or something like that. But so ever since then, you know, I'm in my 40s now. I sprained my ankle various times playing pool, playing pool, by the way. Let's see, I sprained my ankle mowing the lawn. I sprained the ankle coming downstairs in my own house. So you're probably laughing. I sprained my ankle twice on a hike. It was like a 5-mile hike, and I had to jump from rock to rock to go across this little teeny stream slash river. And I sprained my ankle going over the river, and I got lost in that. It's a long story on that whole saga, whatever, but I got lost and ended up having to go back exactly the same way I came because I couldn't figure out how to get back to where my car was. So why not go back the same way you came from? At least I can remember that, right? So I sprained my ankle going back on the same damn rock. So I don't know if it was the same rock, but going over the river again. So recently, let me say, I sprained my ankle, I think in 2016 in Seattle. And then I also sprained my ankle just recently last year hiking Quandary, the 14er. Now the funny thing is the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 times I've sprained my ankle, it's been my right ankle. So maybe my left ankle is fine now, I don't know. But for some reason, it switched over to the right ankle. I am going to be using hiking sticks on the trail. That will help. I will try to lose maybe a little bit of weight before I get on the trail, even though I'm gonna lose a lot of weight on the trail, so I don't wanna lose too much before I get there, but the pack weighs, you know, probably with food, it's gonna be at least 15 pounds to 17 pounds maybe, starting with a base weight of 10 pounds. So that is probably one of my biggest fears. Hiking the Appalachian Trail, it is what it is. It's probably not a fear for most people, but for me, I don't know what it is, but number one, let me just say this, ankles are poor design. They are literally one of the most lemon designs for a human body ever. I don't know if we were ever meant to walk upright. You know, why do animals that walk on all fours never sprain ankles, right? So we probably should be walking all fours and we wouldn't have ankle issues. And the next thing I would say, the next fear that I have hiking the Appalachian Trail is ticks. Now, people probably have come up with this before. Other people that hike the Appalachian Trail probably have said, you know, ticks is a concern as well. I do have a little bit of experience with ticks. When I was growing up, we lived in an area that had a lot of ticks. Our dog used to go through these bushes, and, you know, a couple days later, there'd be these weird things on his hair, and I'm like, what the heck is that? And well, it was a tick that was inflamed with a bunch of blood. So it sucked blood out of him, and we just combed him off. But I remember going hiking in that area, and the next day I woke up and I was fine, came home, and for some reason I took a shower and I looked at my belly button. I don't know what made me look in there, but there was a tick that was attached to me in my belly button. Jesus. Oh man, what a freaky thing that was. I freaked out. I mean, it was probably only 24 hours, maybe less than 24 hours. So, and you don't honestly even know about Lyme disease when you're, you know, 14, 15 years old. But, you know, had I probably told somebody, they probably said, this is a major thing, you better go get it checked out. But we ended up just kind of pulling it / twisting it, and it came loose. And, you know, I didn't, you know, think anything of it, didn't really know what Lyme disease was. But that is one of the biggest concerns with ticks is Lyme disease, okay? Avril Lavigne had Lyme disease, Dr. Berg had Lyme disease, okay? And it's not something that you really recover from fully. It's something that's gonna stay with you probably for a lifetime. There is ways to manage it, but the ticks on the Appalachian Trail and certain parts of the trail up in the New England states, I think maybe south of there as well, can be troublesome. I've heard that, you know, ticks aren't really, maybe about 3,000 feet and above, they're not really prevalent, but I don't know if that's true or not. So, and one of the things you got to worry about is the little nymphs, I think is what they're called. The nymphs are like almost, I wouldn't call them microscopic, but they're super small compared to like a full adult tick. So I will be treating my underwear / all my clothes, including the socks, except for the stuff I probably sleep in, with permethrin. Okay, now I can put a link up to it up here if you want to know what I'm talking about for my Amazon, or I'll put a link down in the description. And permethrin, there's obviously you can buy industrial grade stuff, but I don't know what that does to your clothes. There's a specific brand that I like to buy, which is one of the most popular brands. I'll just go ahead and put that down in the description or the first pinned comment. It is an Amazon link, so if you do purchase through there or something like that, I will probably get a small commission from that. But it doesn't cost you anything, so it's up to you whether you use it or not. You can just click on the link and clear your cache if you don't want to use my link or something like that. So the last thing, this is a pretty big one too, but like I said, they're all pretty much equal, is bad food. Getting sick by drinking bad water, hygiene, or just food poisoning. I don't know, something like that that's keeping me, you know, constant diarrhea where I got to dig holes every 8th mile or something like that, or vomiting in worst case because I'm like the worst vomiter ever. I have like a deathly, you know, I don't know if it's a deathly, I can't stand it, and I don't like to hear other people do it, I don't like to see it, I don't like to smell it. And you know, I could probably say, well, who does? But at the same time, like, I'm deathly afraid of it. Like I don't vomit very often. Like the last time I did was in 2011, and that was because I was drinking, and those don't even really count in my opinion. So before that, it had been years other than another drinking incident, and I'm not really a big drinker, so I'm just worried about that a little bit. But I'm not gonna let that kind of stop me from hiking and doing things that I love, you know, traveling to other countries and stuff. I'm gonna use a water filter. I will try to wash my hands as much as possible. I'll try to, you know, just make sure I'm not eating crappy food or something like that. But it is a major concern for me. So, but like I said, I'm not going to let that deter me from doing what I want to do. It is what it is. Ultimately, it's just a part of life. And obviously, I would be loved to be a Jerry Seinfeld, vomit-free since '93, but it just doesn't happen like that. Every once in a while, we just eat something bad, or you know, our body rejects it. Everybody deals with things differently. Some people just get the backdoor trots out of it. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, the food's kind of a concern just because I do eat high quality food as well. Right now, from whole paychecks, so I'll be eating, you know, convenience store food. But that normally doesn't give you, you know, vomit issues. That normally just gives you the backdoor trots or the summer discomforts, whatever you want to call it. I'll try to eat as healthy as I can, but you know, it's still hiker food. So I'd say those are the top 3 fears I have for hiking the Appalachian Trail. Probably not what you expected, but those are my fears. What are your fears? Comment below. Let me know what your fears are. Maybe, well, maybe I shouldn't really know because maybe I'll add them to my list. So anyways, thanks for watching. Go ahead and like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.